guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and when I'm watching this, welcome to a new vlog. On my way to the new Honda Big Wing showroom here in Hyderabad. It's not open yet officially. I was just passing by Ducati. Just heard from the Honda sales manager who previously worked, by the way, at Triumph. You might recognize his face from my previous visits to Triumph. So he is the sales manager there. So just called him up to check the status of the showroom and also wanted to get a test ride on the Honda Highness. So we'll have a lot of classics coming up this week. So this is a classic week. There you go. That's the Big Wing showroom here in Hyderabad. Work is still in progress, but I wanted to get a test ride on that and the bike is available. So we're going to test ride that, get our opinions on it. Eager to see a classic from Honda for the first time. We have seen from Royal Enfield, we have seen from Triumph, Java, Ducati doesn't have a classic. BMW classics also we have seen. But this is the first time I'm test riding a Honda Classic. Anyway, let's get on the bike and talk about it, okay? Hey guys, we have here the Honda Highness CB350. Let's go for a short test ride. Ta-da. First thing you notice is you need to get used to foot peg hitting your leg. But that's a minor thing you'll get used to. Adjust mirrors, any vehicle whenever you start. Oh, we have slipper clutch. So light here. An interesting dash, similar controls to what we have on Suzuki's Africa Twin. This has a range of 40 kilometers right now. Battery voltage is also displayed in case the battery is down. Total load on this is 499. Trip meter, trip B, fuel efficiency, I guess. Yeah, kilometers per liter is there. This trip meter reset etla? Okay, perfect. Side
trip select chesaanu long press output 0.
Okay. Chalo, let's get going. Oh, nice. Build quality is pretty decent. Oh, nice here. Has a good thump. Talking about thump, it reminds me so much of the first thing you'll notice is the handlebar is slim and it's very light. That's the first thing you'll notice. Besides that, interesting thump. So this has a gear shift indicator. Basic dash here. This is a analog speedo with small tiny screen with some digital information. Upright riding posture, as you can see. Brakes are decent. I think they are sufficient for this class. Nice thump here, nice thump. But best part is the clutch here. Whenever you own a classic, if let's say you're going around 30 kilometers or 40 kilometers in second gear, try going in third gear. The thump is much different. Clutch shifts are decently smooth. Yeah, the best part of this bike so far is the exhaust note. And this is a stock exhaust note. Oh, it's popping too, man. I like this dash. It's unique in this class. There's just not the typical classics style of only analog dash. There is a digital and analog dash. These are the telltale lights. If I'm not wrong, I think this is a USB socket. The positioning is not the best. Oh, this has that interesting gear lever where you have the front and the rear connected. I'm used to, so you can put one leg both and shift up and down. That's old school. So far till 60 the vibrations are pretty minimal. It seems like a very refined classic, at least compared to the classic Royal Enfield Classic 350. Haven't ridden the new Meteor 350, but maybe something we can try this week. Decent in bad patches. So the suspension, when I talk about suspension, it's on the softer setup. So the ride is pretty soft, which is what you need for a cruiser. Yes, we have ABS. Hear that exhaust note? Oh boy. This is one irritating thing that you need to get used to. I had this experience on Srujan's Africa Twin 2. The indicator is at the bottom, the horn is at the top. Oh, why do they do that, man? Why do they do that? Oh, that was a big bump, yeah. But this handled it with ease. One thing I'm not totally impressed is with the switchgear quality, but that's me comparing it to the big classics, premium classics here. So need to test ride more bikes in this category to see how they are. For now, the things that I like so far is the exhaust note, the smoothness of the engine. The specs are here. I think it's 20 bhp of power, corner, decent handling. I think these are MRF Zapper tires if I'm not wrong. Just love that exhaust note, man. Brakes can be better. That's the first con I would say. The brakes do stop, but it's just that they don't have the bite. With such a smooth engine, good handling, people would like to push their motorcycles slightly more than required. And I'm using only front brake. I'm not a fan of using rear brake because the wheel just slides. Even if with ABS, it doesn't stop as effective as the front brake. Rear just helps you control. Front is the brake you have to always use. But good, yeah. Decent seat height. Both my legs are touching the ground easily. The build quality is decent. Not exceptional, but you get what you pay for. And in that regard, this works. I think if you're looking for design, I think you're probably better off going with Java or something. This is a very practical and functional motorcycle, and I think this is pretty comfortable to cruise. For a 350cc bike, decent pull. Okay, so far it's not eating up so much. This is a completely air-cooled engine, 350cc capacity, 20 bhp of power, 30 Nm of torque. Pretty basic bike. This is the first classic for Honda in India, and in that sense they're going right against the competition, which is the Royal Enfield Meteor 350 and Classic 350. Also Java comes into that category too, and we'll have Java review coming up soon. Maybe the Parak, I think, because the Parak specs are interesting. They have a Parak with 30 bhp of power and 32 Nm of torque. This has only 20 bhp, so I'm excited for that. At the end of this week on Instagram, if you aren't following me on Instagram, here's the ID. We have a comparison chart on all three bikes, the price and specs. So hopefully that will help you pick up the best bike in this lot here. We need to go above 60 till 80 to see how the vibrations in the mirrors are. That's something that's common. Seat is comfortable so far in city. So if you are taking this for a city, lovely bike, very refined. And if you're planning to take this for touring, small tours, 200-300 kilometers, I think this should be perfect. And it has single exhaust, unlike Java, which has twin exhausts. Honda has some nice design touches like the headlight. The rear footrest is also done well. And the black dot engine section is also pretty good, and they have quite a few colors. They have two variants, that's the Deluxe and the Pro. So the one I'm riding is the Pro version. The only difference is this gets dual horn, which is pretty good, and the dual tone colors, which are actually nice. This blue color is pretty good. Another thing that I noticed is you can control traction. You can turn traction control on and off using the side button for 2 seconds. That's interesting. Kya traffic hai re mamma. Time to test the performance of this bike. Nice here. It has lovely mid-range. Low end is pretty decent for city. You don't need too much of torque, but I'm impressed with the mid-range. It's pulling pretty well. Yeah, the brakes are not that great, man. Oh, nice. I think this chassis can take quite a lot of power. feels very assuring in terms of handling. Nice here, lovely mid-range. That 60 to 80 feels very relaxing. I think that's the sweet spot for this bike in terms of cruising. Good, yeah, impressed. Only thing that I didn't like is the quality of switchgear and the brakes. And this handlebar can be meatier, it's too small. Love that exhaust note, man. Love that exhaust note. This is going to be available only through their big wing dealership, so they are very limited across India. I don't know why they wanted to do that, because this is a mass vehicle and you want to ensure the maximum people have access to it. Probably they want to make sure they have the premium crowd first and build the aspirations of people from there, because they can aspire for bigger bikes. So that makes me think they might launch some other classics in their higher capacity bikes like the Rebel series. So let's conclude, we are almost near the showroom. So this is the showroom lines of Hyderabad. We have BMW back there, Triumph, Ducati, Honda. So the pros: engine refinement, transmission, ride, even handling to some extent is good. I think with better tires it can handle better. It's not a bad handler anyway, it's just that chassis can handle much more, and for this capacity I think this is pretty decent. Let's try a small off-road patch. Good, yeah. Amazing ride quality in bad patches. Talking about the cons: one, the placement of the horn and the engine turn indicators. Brakes definitely need an improvement. Switchgear quality is the only thing that I didn't like, but the overall build is pretty good. Yeah, it's Japanese built, so it's gonna last forever. The reliability is something that you can only test over time, but trusting the badge of Honda, you can go for it. In terms of features, I wish it had modes, riding modes, more power, bigger digital display. This whole section can be a nice digital display. See, I couldn't warn those guys because I was searching for the horn and I could only get the indicator button. But I think you'll get used to it over 3-4 days. Oh, another pro I missed is the slipper clutch. This is beautiful, yeah. Probably the second most lightest clutch that I've used after my Apache. Apache is the lightest. Look how silent it is. Good, yeah. Not too heavy to maneuver. I'm able to do a quick U-turn pretty easily. Nice. That's the first ride impressions of the Honda Highness CB350, guys. So that's the new Honda Big Wing showroom here in Banjara Hills. So this is close to the Ducati showroom in case you're new to Hyderabad. Still under construction. There is a lot more work to be done here. So maybe a month or so it will be ready. But let's go check out the bikes. There are two variants, Deluxe and Pro in CB350. So these are the Deluxe and two colors, black and maroon.
Black, maroon, and matte
Green. Okay, the black, maroon and green. So this is the other color. This is the matte green. Paint finish quality is also another thing that I liked a lot. This is matte finish. This is metallic black. I think this looks good, yeah. Hey guys, so that's the first ride impressions of the Honda CB350. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I've pretty much conveyed what I felt, the good things that I liked about it, the not so great things about it. Some of those might be subjective. Depends on the bike you're coming from, depends on where you are in that biking journey so far. So there are different things that some people might like and some might not. So I would always say, for anyone asking which vehicle is better, test ride all the vehicles that are in your shortlist. So make a budget, check out the vehicles in that budget range, minimum and maximum budget रहना है पहले. उसके बाद test ride all those bikes that are in that budget. Pick whatever you enjoy riding the most. You need to fall in love with that bike so that it'll stay longer with you. For me, the final thoughts are the price seems to be slightly higher for the performance, but there are a few things that Honda is unique at. One, it's reliable. It'll last forever. That's mostly a guarantee. And I say mostly because there will be one or two cases here and there, but on a whole, they're well known for their reliability. And then the smoothness of the engine is pretty good. Features are there, like traction control is there, which you can turn it off, by the way. And Bluetooth connectivity is there, so I think you can connect it to your phone and helmet maybe. I'm not sure how practical and how many people would actively use that, but that's a good feature to have. They have USB charging point, slipper clutch, which is pretty good, very rare in that category, but should be common for people who are traveling a lot in the traffic. And it has higher ground clearance than the Java, and not sure about the Royal Enfield's ground clearance, but this apparently is taller than the Java. So that would be the next video, guys. We'll have the Java Parak. I think the regular Java we might do both, but for now I'm interested in trying out the Java Parak because it has more power, more torque. Love to try that. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.